2023 is about to be a wrap, but before we conclude the year, we had to give y'all something extremely special. Now, I know you see a lot of other brands out there that have their end of the year lists when it comes to the top products of the year, the top rappers of the year, the top videos of the year. You always see that everywhere, right? We're gonna do things a little bit differently though. We're gonna actually give you the top marketers of the year. From Taylor Swift to Beyonce to Travis Kelce to big brands that you didn't think had a marketing impact but that really do. We're gonna give it all to you right now. But before we do that, it is extremely important that you click that subscribe button, that you like this video, and that you share it with other entrepreneurs out there that want to learn a little thing or two about marketing, because marketing is the lifeblood of your business. So go ahead and do that for me. Let's get into the video. One of our goals for this channel is to get you to stop thinking from the perspective of a consumer and start thinking from the perspective of a producer. Because when you do that, you start to think about things a little bit differently, and that's what we bring you on this channel. Instead of looking at a funny commercial, we like to dive deeper and think to ourselves, which particular aspects of that particular campaign actually resulted in them generating massive amounts of revenue? That's how we like to think about things, and we encourage you to do the same thing. So without further ado, let's jump into our list of the top marketers of the year. Now, it is very important for you to understand when I'm going through this list of the top marketers, look at it from a lens of, okay, I see what they did with this particular marketing campaign. How can I do the same thing? How can I take my business and insert it into that same type of campaign and get similar results? That's what it's all about. You have to be a lifelong learner, because one thing that I know for certain is that success leaves clues. And if the biggest businesses and brands and people in the world are doing these things, then you need to be doing it too. Now, I gotta start this list off with none other than Taylor Swift, y'all. Love her or hate her, she was on the tip of everyone's tongues this year. And the reason why is because she's mastered marketing. Literally everywhere you look, it's Taylor, 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 Taylor Swift this, Taylor Swift that, right? She is absolutely everywhere. And from a marketing perspective, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, yo, why though? Why is everyone continuing to talk about this woman in such high regard everywhere you look? And there's a few things that she did this year that you can take note of and insert into your business. The first thing that Taylor Swift recognizes is that she had a tour coming out this year, and she had to make a huge splash to stay relevant during this tour. So what did she do? She recognized that there was a certain demographic of people that she hadn't tapped into yet. So she decided to collaborate with Ice Spice, do a music video, have her show up to one of her tour dates. And what that did specifically was that inserted Taylor Swift into another audience that could benefit from her sound and from her music. In my opinion, that was very genius of Taylor Swift to do that, because it increased the eyeballs and it had more people talking about her over and over and over again. Around that same time, Taylor also aligned herself into a new relationship with none other than Travis Kelce. All right, for those of y'all that don't know who Travis Kelce is, he is a tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's probably the best tight end in the league, if you ask me. And he was already very popular. So what Taylor did was she aligned her brand with his brand, and they collaborated to create this mega force that everyone was talking about. To this day, it's Taylor and Travis. What are Taylor and Travis up to today, right? And the beauty of this collaboration, I want y'all to think about this. Yes, it's a relationship, but it's also a collaboration. The beauty of this collaboration is that Taylor collabed with a member of the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl this past year. So what better way to bring more attention to her brand than to have a relationship with this guy who's one of the star players on this team that is one of the top teams in the league that people are already talking about. But then Taylor did something extremely dope. She started showing up to his games, knowing that the cameras were going to spotlight her during these games. And I don't know if you know this, but the NFL is a cash cow, and the NFL has the most viewers on TV on Sundays. It is the biggest sport in the United States. So there are millions and millions of viewers that are watching this on a weekly basis. And because of that, when the camera hit Taylor Swift, millions of eyeballs were now on her. And because those millions of eyeballs were on her, that again kept her at the top of people's minds. She stayed grabbing more and more attention. Mind you, at this same time, her tour is going on, her album is out, all of these different things are happening, and that's just adding to the sales. People are starting to not even worry about the football game itself, but what Taylor Swift is actually eating at the game. It's absolutely incredible. But that was such a genius move by her because it allowed her to tap into, again, a newer audience. And then to top it off, Taylor had a movie that dropped this year, and it was based off of her tour. She dropped this movie, and what did it do? It broke all types of box office records. It did over $200 million in the first 3 weeks and became the highest grossing concert film of all time. And then if you want to add the cherries on top, Taylor Swift became a billionaire this year. And the reason she became a billionaire is because of what she did over the course of this year, strategically aligning herself with particular things that she knew were gonna get that buzz going. She absolutely delivered a masterclass. There's much more that I could get into with Taylor Swift, but we gotta move on. Now, this next person I'm about to get into delivered an absolute gem of a marketing strategy that all of y'all can implement in your business as well. And that's none other than Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg understands marketing better than most. And in marketing, it's all about garnering as much attention as possible and then using that attention to begin to sell product. And that's exactly what Snoop Dogg did this year. I want you to peep this timeline, all right? On November 16th, Snoop Dogg on Twitter announced that he was done smoking. He was through with it. He was done. Smoking wasn't his thing anymore. And he also said something along the effects of, "I'd like you to respect my privacy during this time." And that made it even more real for the people, right? Snoop Dogg's whole brand is surrounded by smoke. Every movie you see Snoop Dogg on, Snoop Dogg is high or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his persona, that's his brand. And he did a good job of aligning himself with that to sell more product, right? So when Snoop Dogg comes on Twitter on November 16th and says, "Yo, I'm through smoking," there was some huge buzz around Snoop Dogg making that announcement to the point where it got over like 152 million views on Twitter, and the post went absolutely viral. Talk shows were talking about it the next day. Everyone was talking about, "Oh, Snoop Dogg gave up smoke." And people began to speculate as to why he was giving up smoke. Was it health related? Was it for a movie role? Like, why was Snoop giving up smoke? He gathered the attention. Now you have all these eyeballs on you to see what's your next tweet gonna be. What's the next thing that you're gonna say after you just said that you gave up smoke? Everyone is glued to the screen to see what Snoop's gonna do next. 5 days later, on November 20th, Snoop Dogg tweeted again, and he announced that he is giving up smoke, but the smoke he's giving up is the smoke that he uses for his fire pits. It was absolutely crazy, right? What Snoop did was he actually collaborated with a smokeless fire pit company that actually allows you to create fire pits without the smoke. And he dropped this video to make the announcement.
"I have an announcement. I'm giving up smoke." I know what you're thinking. "Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing." But I'm done with it. Done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all sticky icky. I'm going smokeless. Solo Stove Fix Fire. They took out the smoke.
The name of the brand he collaborated with was called Solo Stove, and they're a manufacturer of smokeless fire pits. This campaign was so successful that I actually went to the website the other day and realized that they were actually sold out of the product. Again, this was a marketing masterclass because now everyone's buying these smokeless fire pits for their backyard. I mean, shoot, I might even get one for myself, to be honest with you. But again, that was an amazing marketing masterclass, and you can see Solo Stove everywhere now promoting their product, promoting their brand, and getting a ton of sales in the process. That's what we mean by mastering your marketing. And you can do this within your brand as well by creating some sort of attention-grabbing posts and things that are gonna get people talking. Now, there's been a lot of other people that did extremely well when it comes to marketing. Beyonce did amazing this year. Drake did amazing this year. There's a lot of people that did it, but these are the ones that stood out to me, and these are great teaching moments for you. Now, with that being said, let's shift to the actual businesses. Let's look at the businesses that did extremely well utilizing marketing campaigns as well. And the first brand that I actually want to talk about is my favorite brand of all time, Apple. This is an Apple household. Every single product I have in this home is an Apple product. I absolutely love Apple. I actually just switched to an Apple iPhone. I was Team Droid for the longest time, but I had to make the switch, and I love it. Nonetheless, Apple had an initiative this year to push their products forward even more than they have in the past. And one of the main products that they were focused on really pushing was Apple Pay. So what's a clever way to actually get Apple Pay in the hands of more iPhone users? It's easy. Tap into the younger audience. So Apple got really smart and decided to tap into short form content in order to do that. And they actually collaborated with a famous grandma TikToker that I'm gonna show y'all right now. I'm gonna show y'all this video. It's absolutely hilarious. But this particular video ended up doing extremely well. This was one of the most successful ads on YouTube Shorts over the course of the year. And I just want to show you this video to show you a little bit about content creation and how you can do the same thing within your brand.
My feelings are hurt. My ex just told me I look 100. I'm 93, but I feel like 70. Can Apple Pay make me look 70 again? Let's find out. Can you make me look 70? Absolutely. No, I look 70. I sure have. Thanks, Apple Pay.
So this video got so much attention. It was on a bunch of blogs, a bunch of news networks were talking about this particular ad because what it featured was two entities that were unlikely to collab, and it made an absolutely amazing collaboration. Apple benefited obviously because it got Apple Pay into more iPhones. I actually just added Apple Pay honestly because of this ad, all right? And a lot of other people did as well, but Apple targeted the young folks here. They targeted short form content because believe it or not, short form content actually delivers 10 to 20% more sales conversions than any other form of content. Apple realized that and they began to double down on the short form content. And another thing I want you to notice about this content is that it's native content. There wasn't anything fancy. She wasn't using a fancy camera. She was simply using her iPhone, doing the green screen feature, going to the salon, recording that with her phone. So what that allowed Apple to do is tap into the TikTok demographic, the YouTube short demographic, because the content was similar to content that they've already seen before, but it was slightly different and it grabbed people's attention, which made them watch it, which made them share it, which made Apple Pay get into more households. You can do the same thing within your brand as well. Now, when it comes to marketing, if you've been doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's probably time for you to think a little bit outside of the box. And that's exactly what Nissan did with this advertisement that they decided to run this past year of 2023. And by the way, when you think about Nissan, you think of kind of like a middle tier vehicle that's very affordable. And most times when you see commercials, you don't see anything really creative from Nissan. Nissan, however, switched it up this year and got really creative and tapped into one of the biggest communities on the face of this planet, which is anime. So what they did was they took anime, which is a huge entity that millions and millions of people love, and then they took lo-fi hip hop, which millions and millions of people love, and they collabed them together to create this amazing 4-hour listening session using anime and using lo-fi hip hop. And they had this listening session on YouTube. But the unique part about it that I absolutely love is that this particular listening session was all done inside of one of their new vehicles, the Nissan Ariya. So as you can see in this video, it was literally a 4-hour listening session. One thing that Nissan realized is that people love anime, so they had the anime graphics there. And then people also love lo-fi hip hop. There's a lot of lo-fi YouTube channels that people literally just sit there and let play while they're doing their homework, while they're studying, while they're getting creative. Nissan tapped into that, but the animation that was on the screen was actually the animation of the inside of the vehicle while the music was playing. And I thought this was absolutely genius because what Nissan did was they tapped into things that people already loved, and they simply just infused their little twist to it. And it was an amazing hit that allowed Nissan to garner even more attention for their brand. You and your brand, you can do this exact same thing. Think outside of the box. Think about what's popular over here and what's popular over here, and combine them together and then find the place where you can intersect that and create an amazing brand. So with all of that being said, those are some of the top marketers of the year of 2023. Your goal for 2024 should be to be a top marketer of the year. Because if you're a top marketer of the year, that means that you're garnering attention and that means that you're making money. Now, before we get out of here, there's a few things that I want to highlight about these particular marketing campaigns and why they did so well. Number one is collaboration. Collaborating with the right influencer or with the right other brand can catapult your entire business. We realized this year in 2023, we had a few different collaborations that allowed us to make $100,000 in one day. That would not have happened if we did not utilize collaborations effectively. So find people that you can collaborate with that align with your brand, that might be a little bit adjacent to your brand, and put some things out there with them, because these are the things, as you can see with all of these top campaigns, that are bringing in the most revenue. Collaboration is king out here. You should be doing that because it can generate a ton of money for your business. Number 2, short form content. Once again, short form content rules the day. Short form content is taking over the world already. We live in a very microwavable society. Everything is fast paced, and they want to get to the things that they like immediately. So creating short form content is key. And as I said before, as you continue to tap into more short form content, it's been seen to deliver 10 to 20% more sales conversions for your business. And number 3, tap more into long form content as well. As I showed you with the Nissan example, Nissan had a 4-hour listening session. And this listening session told a story, but it also garnered attention because they tapped into 2 entities that were already proven to work in anime as well as lo-fi hip hop. They tapped into those entities and they did a 4-hour stream that was extremely successful for them. So do not be afraid to tap into long form as well, because remember, in order for someone to buy from you, they have to watch between 7 to 11 hours worth of content before they fully trust you. Create a YouTube channel, start telling more stories, start a podcast. These are the things that you can do that are gonna make more people fall in love with your brand. Most importantly though, I wanna wish all of y'all an amazing, amazing new year. 2024 is about to be epic for you all. But remember, these videos are timeless. You can watch this video, I don't care if it's 2026 and you're watching these videos. These marketing strategies are tried and true. Do these and they can get you to the top. Now, before we get out of here, I encourage y'all to share this video with someone who needs this in their life. Be sure to like this, be sure to subscribe to this video, and we will see you in the next one, y'all. Peace and love.